Mr. Nadler, we're hearing a good bit of language now about how you support the police and are against defunding. When asked by the New York Post, would you be in favor of defunding New York police budget, your reply, yes, it should certainly be cut. We're spending too much money on the police. There should be substantial cuts to the police budget and reallocation of those funds to where we need them. In 2020, during the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, you would end qualified immunity for law enforcement officers. End qualified immunity, which would eliminate from the police officers I talked to entire forces. In June of 17th, the New York City Council passed a budget that cut the funding, the New York Police Department's funding by $1 billion. The 200 people were arrested in the New York City in the protest following the death of George Floyd 2 months ago, March 23rd, March of 2023, a settlement in federal court said New York City would compensate 320 New Yorkers more than $21,000 each who were surrounded, arrested, or subjected to excessive force by police, as well as another $2,500 to each person who received a desk appearance ticket. Two questions. One, I assume you stick by these comments. Secondly,
I stick by my comments, not necessarily by some other things that were there.
Do you deny anything I read?
No.
So you stick by that?
Yeah.
And you're making the case for why you support the police and are criticizing everything that Congressman Biggs
But I said,
just said. Hold on, let me just ask you something. You're with this in your of record, you're now making the case why what Mr. Biggs is describing does not support the police because it leaves out the Capitol Police, in your opinion. You realize New York City, New York has lost 300,000 residents. Many of them are coming to South Carolina because of just what I mentioned here. I don't know how you can sit there and make the statements you're making when your record is completely dismal when it comes to supporting the police, who are such a brave family of officers who do it for no other reason than protect the public. And you're sitting here making statements like you are as some big supporter. I don't get it. I really don't.
can I answer? Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
Well, several things. First of all, I did say that the New York City Police Department budget should be reduced in order to devote more resources to mental health. And that was done. About $1 billion was shifted from the police to the mental health. And that's because when you're in the subway, I mean, we just saw an example of this last week with Mr. Neely. When you're in the subway and someone is acting out, what you need is a mental health person, not a police officer who's not trained for that. And the city of New York recognized that, and things have been better since they did that. Not good yet, but better. Secondly, let me just mention some bills I passed last.
I don't want to go there on that. Just, I mean, you're standing pretty much by what you said, which is really not only is it hypocritical, it's
not hypocritical.
It's amazing that you're making
not hypocritical.
Mental health. Alvin Bragg is really doing a terrible job of basically making a mockery of the police force, and the order of law in New York City, and your statistics prove it. It's up by 34%, and people are leaving your state, and it's going to continue. From what I hear, my wife used to love to go there, not going again. By just as what happened on the subways, there's no place in New York that's safe other than a few places.